Well, I guess I could get somebody else to open the show, but I know Paul is going to be very, very disappointed.
I'm sure he'll understand.
Well, there's a lot of people here. There's a fellow Malcolm man. Buddy, could you come here a minute, please? Do me a little favor. Yeah. Got a chocolate? It wasn't chocolate. Hey, listen, if you would, please, look into the camera. Yes. I got this. And I wanted to read it. Look right in and read it out, if you would, please, for me.
Live from New York and London, it's Saturday night.
Hello and welcome to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. We're Gary Seath and Brad Robinson.
And you're not.
This week on the early years of SNL, we're talking about Season 5, Episode 19, with host Steve Martin and musical guests Paul and Linda McCartney and 3D. This episode originally aired on May 17th, 1980. Brad, we got two musical guests, I guess.
Sort of, kind of. And Steve. God,
and
you wouldn't
Steve.
even know Steve Martin's back half the time.
Yeah. His final appearance in the first 5 years, clearly, because this is the second to last episode of the first 5 years.
And overshadowed somehow by a Beatle. There you go. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for all your hard work. We have bigger fish to fry this episode.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
No, yeah.
It's the hype of having a Paul McCartney.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
I know.
And the whole way they go about it is very fun. But I feel like this might have been better served for Burt Reynolds or something.
Well, maybe they didn't want Burt Reynolds to fuck it up.
Because it's a bummer. It is one of, if not the most ho-hum Steve Martin episodes. There's not a lot there. There's not a lot there with him.
I think that's probably true. Sure.
Yeah.
I did enjoy, him though.
Of course.
I don't think again, this is an instance where it's not on him. It's just the show itself was, again, it's the end of the season, the end of the fifth season. They're tired.
Yeah, and he's fine, but they just don't give him anything, unfortunately. So he doesn't have a lot to really lean into in the Steve Martin mold. He's also movie star Steve Martin now.
That's right.
Because we're 5 or 6 months removed from The Jerk coming out. So he's in the beginning of transitioning from out of stand-up and into movies, because I think he only has 1 or 2 albums that come out after this appearance. And then he's done with stand-up fully. Yeah.
It's crazy. What an interesting career this Steve Martin fellow has had.
Right? Let me call him real quick.
Just when you think about it, this is the end of his stand-up career, like you said, after this. And he never goes back. It's remarkable.
I know. But it's a great get. It's an obvious get, too. You want to end Steve and Buck. It makes total sense. So it's good to have him back. And it's like a welcoming thing of, okay, we're going to get our favorite people on to end the season. So it makes sense as to why he's back and where he's back next to last before Buck.
Yeah, it totally makes sense where it falls. I agree that the choice to have him host the show with the Beatle, I guess you probably could have done it, maybe with Bob Newhart even.
Right, but I mean, we'll talk about it. His album, the Paul McCartney album, came out the day before. So I guess you could put the album out. You could release the single before, but I guess the timing of it all, you're kind of stuck with this week to really sell it proper. So you get Steve. And I mean, it's season 5. It's not the best season in the world. I think we said this actually the first time Steve hosted, Steve Martin Blondie this season. It's a great ticket. Steve Martin, Paul McCartney. Yeah, this is a big get. This is a big ticket episode. Eric Idle, Bob Dylan. So it actually does make sense. Like, this is where you would do it. You're one of your top hosts with one of the biggest music stars doing a very rare television performance, live television performance.
Well, yeah. I mean, he doesn't perform live.
But he's there, and he has a new. She is putting out new music. Right. There's his new song that you haven't heard off his first solo album in like 10 years. So all of it is a big deal. It's just,
Yes.
it's just all of it is also very middle of the road.
Yeah.
Because it's not bad. It's just not
Fine.
great. Yes, it's fine. Everything
about it
comedically is fine.
And we can save this for their performance, but we get 3D as well.
Sure.
So
Hey, it's not Anne Murray. It's not Judy Collins. I'll take it.
I don't know. I might take Anne Murray.
You're just trying to get me riled up. Let's go.
I'm not. All right. Well, let's just get into it.
Let's do it.
The cold open starts with an exclusive report. This is day 122 of Paul McCartney not smoking marijuana.
Without marijuana. I love it. It's a great callback. They dive right into it. They even bring up the whole backstory with Father Guido Sarducci, who their correspondent they sent to a jail in Japan and missed his interview. I love that they called all this back.
Yeah. And it's just Jane at the desk, at the Weekend Update desk, telling us all of this and, running through all of this. And then she says, that she throws it to Father Guido Sarducci, who is live in London. And he actually is live in London, right?
Yeah.
So this in and of itself is a big deal. And we see Father Guido and we see his hair in cornrow.
Of course, my first notice, what's with the braids? And of course, he brings it up in the whole reference to Bo Derek, and that's great.
Yeah, I was really happy that he brought it up as quickly as he did too.
Yes,
because it was distracting to the point where I was like, "Where's this gonna go?"
Yep. Yeah.
And he brings up Bo Derek in the movie 10, and Jane starts to get impatient because having this satellite there is very expensive, and he said he could get Paul McCartney to do their live from New York, and he can't do it, and he's just kind of
well,
going
there's a
through
time
things.
change, Gary. There's time zones, and they messed up Jane's like, does he know it's 11:30? Oh, and it's like that's the whole running gag is that
Right.
And then which gets it has a good payoff at the end, the whole time zone thing, because every time he tries to explain the time zones to Jane or whoever he's talking to about how there's another hour. Yeah.
So we now have to start the show, Jane says, and so he just grabs a milkman because
find
there's a
somebody.
lot of people on the street here at 4:30 in the morning. He finds a milkman and has him read the card that says live from New York and London. It's Saturday night. And that's our cold open.
Yeah, it was fine. Little thin on the premise, because he's not coming out, so they have to figure out a way to milk it a bit. And I think it's more. It's a setup. It's a setup for the runner, which overall is a really good bit, I think. The running bit throughout the episode of where's Paul McCartney? Is he going to come out? He's supposed to be on TV. It just milked it a little long, but it's a good setup.
Yeah, it is. And I think he's very good for these, stringing this along. It's like he did it's very similar to what he did with Richard Nixon in New York.
Yeah, exactly.
But it works. It works because it's him. Right. I think if it were any other character or correspondent, it probably would not have been nearly as much fun.
It is a great multi-week gag that they've done. First sending him to Japan, and he's in the jail, and he can't talk to him, and now he's here. It's a really fun. I mean, he's got to be the most popular character they have right now. They announced his name at one point in this episode. I don't know if it was here or not, but they announced his name, and the place goes nuts. So he's still a fan favorite.
Well, another fan favorite is Steve Martin, who comes out for his monologue, and he's just dances down the stairs, shuffles across the stage.
See the guys run across the camera at the top of the set? They come in, they fade in, two guys run off the set who I can only assume were moving the Weekend Update desk off of home base.
Right.
Yeah.
I did see that. That was surprising.
Yeah.
And then Steve comes on and does a bit about what he believes. Things like 8 of the 10 commandments. Sex is the greatest thing that money can buy. He should not have. My favorite was, I shouldn't have bought that 30-story 1-bedroom apartment. Yeah, that was it. I mean, it was a short bit. It wasn't a long stand-up set.
Yeah, it was short. He had a rare political joke in there. He had a Reagan joke, which for Steve Martin, doing a political joke was interesting.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the what I believe bit. which will be on his next and ultimately last comedy album, the Steve Martin Brothers. But I bring it up because on that album was the first time he had brought other writers in to write. And do you know who wrote that, the What I Believe bit?
No.
Jack Handy.
Oh, really?
This is around the time when Jack Handy started working with Steve Martin, and he wrote a bunch of pieces for him, and he was doing what I believe, I think it is routine at this time, but this is one of the first things that Jack Handy wrote for Steve Martin, and obviously the first thing Jack Handy wrote that got on SNL.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not know that.
Because if you think about it, like as you were saying it too, they're kind of deep thought-esque, many of these sentences. Like you could see them
Yes.
played as a deep thought down the road. They're in that same vein a little bit.
Oh, yeah, totally. It reminded me of the Christmas Wish.
Oh, interesting.
It's these absurd things that are like one-upping the next thing.
Mm-hmm. But it definitely had an interesting, since we've seen so many of these in such short time, Steve Martin monologues of not Steve's voice entirely. You can tell there's a different voice to it a little
Right.
bit. Like, especially if you know it's Jack Handy, then you're like, oh, of course, that does feel like him in there
Yeah.
and Steve speaking through him kind of a thing.
Did Jack Handy write the Christmas Wish?
No, Smigel.
I don't know.
I mean, I know Smigel
was
did.
Smigel?
I don't know if Handy had a piece, but it was mainly a Smigel thing, I think. I forget who else might have been in it.
Well, do you know who wrote the next sketch? Real Incredible People?
I do, actually.
Oh.
This was a... yeah. Like that?
I
You were
was
not
gonna
ready for
stump
me.
you.
I know. Franken and Davis, Jim Downey,
Oh,
Gamble and Prost, Sarah Paley, and Peter Ackroyd. It's another one of
Okay.
those
So it's-
half the
yeah,
writing
the-
staff. Yeah.
right. Everyone in the writer's room writes a joke, and then we'll put it together.
But
in a
all those
talk show
initials
format.
are on the script. So, yes, that's them.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I mean, there's a lot going on in this sketch. So,
I don't know if there's a lot going on as much as there's a lot of people on screen in this sketch.
there are a lot of people. Yes.
So, Real Incredible People is a talk show that's hosted by Steve, Gilda, Bill, Harry, and Lorraine, all five of them as just real people hosting this show. And then they are just highlighting people who are incredible in their own certain ways. So we see Akira Yoshimura eating with chopsticks
As himself.
as himself. That's right.
They also
Yes.
never call it chopsticks. It's like two pieces of
No.
wood. It's never,
Yeah.
they're never referred to as chopsticks.
And he's eating raw fish. That's the other thing. He's eating raw fish. It's not even cooked. Jane is someone who reads every night before bed. And Garrett is black. And they are super excited.
And Garrett has brown skin. Yes, that is.
Yeah.
You are correct. That is
Yeah.
right.
And they get super excited about all of these things. And then
Yes.
eventually they start going into the audience and they talk to Downey and
And again, the writing staff, Prost.
yeah, Gamble and
It's
Prost, right?
everybody
They're
from
both
the-
there.
I think so, yeah.
I like Downey. I thought Downey was really funny when he was like, remember a few years ago when you could get pet rocks? I bought one.
It was better than when they came back to him and he said something about his
Yeah.
sister was a nun or something. And
Yeah,
and
his
Bill's
sister
like,
used to
"Aren't
be
you
a nun."
Aren't you the guy who bought the pet rocks? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Bill had a blast
Yeah.
this sketch. He was all into it.
He was totally he was in a wig and a mustache.
He was having a fucking blast.
I'll tell you what, I got that sense from Bill all night that he was just having a really fun night.
I mean, he's got Steve there. He's got Steve
Yeah.
to play with. So I think he's excited.
Yeah, it seemed like it. This is a very surface level joke that they have going on, but everyone enjoyed it, and I think that made it fun.
Well, this is a mashup of two real shows.
Yeah.
There's a show called Real People that had been on NBC for about a year at this point, which was the one highlight of NBC's lineup. All those Fred Silverman jokes. This was an actual non-Gary Coleman show that was doing well for NBC. Which is the concept or conceit for this, where with the set dressing and all those placards, because they do a great job with this set when they start in the audience and you see they put stuff behind everybody in the bleachers to create this TV studio set, which was really nice. That's all from Real People. The show Real People was hosted by 5 hosts, and that's what they would do exactly this. They would intro filmed clips of ordinary people with like odd jobs or hobbies or stuff like that. So that's the one show. And then the second show is, because that show was so successful, there were all these copycat shows. There was a show on ABC that had premiered, I believe, like a month or two earlier called That's Incredible. And the catchphrase was, they would do like stunts and crazy things, and the catchphrase would always be, "That's incredible." So they marry, which is makes sense as to the timing as to why they do this sketch now, because That's Incredible had just come out. And so they marry the two of, we're going to make this obnoxious show for idiots. So it's an instance, I think, of being timely and very good at being timely,
Right.
because it's hitting on things at the time people know but have probably forgotten about in the last 40 some odd years. So you're missing all the jokes. You're missing the, I had that first line too. And I looked at it, I thought, why are we waiting for 5 people to run up to the stage? You could just literally start with them on the stage. But that's what they did on this show. I went back, I looked up one of the episodes. They would introduce the hosts, and all 5 of them would like saunter up to the stage and take their seats.
Man.
Yeah. Fun fact, one of the original hosts of Real People,
Yeah.
Fred Willard.
What?
Yes. Fred Willard was one of the original hosts. He left and then came back. The show ran for like 5 or 6 seasons. And after he left, one of his, or I don't know if it replaced him, but another person who hosted the show, Byron Allen.
TV mogul Byron Allen?
Hold on, I have better host trivia.
Holy cow.
The host of That's Incredible, some woman, I forget her name, Kathy Lee Crosby, something like that. But I might be pretty close. Fran Tarkenton.
No,
and
that's
John,
right.
Am I right?
Kathy Lee Crosby. She became Kathy Lee Gifford. She was
That was
Kathy Lee
her?
Crosby before she was Kathy Lee Gifford.
I watched an episode of that too, or parts of it. I thought it was her, but it didn't look like her. That's her though. That was her. That's Kathy Lee
Sure,
Gifford.
yeah.
Wow. Fran Tarkenton, former SNL
Former
host.
host of SNL.
But the one that got me, John Davidson. Do you remember John Davidson?
Yeah, Hollywood Squares.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's your threesome who hosted that show. And that was more like stunts and like staged things as opposed to normal people. But anyway.
Huh.
So if you go back, or if you happen to look, because they're on YouTube, and you look at clips from That's Incredible and Real People, this is a much better sketch.
All right. I won't, but I'll just take your word for it.
I didn't do any of it until after I saw the sketch. So my notes, of course, are like, now we're in the audience? Man, this just keeps going. And at the very end, I'm like, that was a real incredible sketch. Yet, not knowing all of that, and we talked about this at the Strother Martin episode, not knowing all of that, I still enjoyed this sketch. Like, something about it worked. There was enough in there that I enjoyed it, and everybody was so committed into the bit that it was enjoyable without knowing exactly the stuff they were parroting.
Yeah. It was fun. It was enjoyable. And everyone did seem to be in it. I mean, into it.
Into it. Yeah.
Everyone was in it, but also into it.
Literally everyone.
Literally everyone. I thought the next sketch everyone seemed to be really into as well.
Ooh, okay.
You didn't think they seemed to be into it?
No, they were into it. I'm sorry. They were into
I
it.
didn't say it was good. I just said they were into it.
They were.
We start in an apartment with Harry and Lorraine doing a puzzle of Mount Rushmore. And Bill and Steve break in with guns and just make a mess of the apartment.
What is your thought? Did you have any thought when Steve and Bill break in? Did anything come to mind?
Ex-cops.
Yep, ex-police. I saw it because it looks like the exact same set from ex-police, and there's 2 Neanderthals like bursting through the front door. I was like, is this another ex-police saga?
Yeah. No,
But
it is
no,
not.
No, it is not.
No, it is not.
Nope.
They just come in with guns and they literally wreck the place. Just throw shit on the ground, mess stuff up. And I like when they're like, don't call the police. And then they're leaving and Bill's like, yeah, and unplugs the phone, like the old landlines, as if that's something. And then they just run out. Harry and Lorraine are flustered, of course. And I think my question at this point was, why is your door unlocked in the first place?
Yes, thank you.
And then why would you leave it unlocked But they did.
You sound
And
like
then-
me now, like pulling plausibility issues into sketches. Like, why would you do this? Who does that? This is so
I
stupid.
know. But it was just, that was like my first reaction was like, they had no problem breaking into your apartment because they didn't break. They literally
Three
opened the door.
times. Three times
Yeah.
that place gets busted into.
Because right after that, then Gilda and Jane break in, also with guns. And it turns out that they are the mothers to Bill and Steve. And now they're going to clean up the mess that their sons made while holding guns on Harry and Lorraine still. And then
Yeah, keep going.
they
Don't look at me
leave.
to help.
They leave. And then Harry and Lorraine still don't know what to do. They're still flustered. And then they come back, all four of them, Jane, Gilda, Bill, and Steve, and they force the boys to apologize to them. Did I hit it all? I think I got it all. I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was funny because as soon as Jane and Gilda broke in, I understood what they were going for in the joke.
Mm-hmm. You're like
think
trying
because
to will yourself to say this is funny.
No, because I don't think it was funny. I think it was, again, like a lot of things in season 5, I liked the idea behind it more so than the execution of it.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really know why, because I don't think the execution was poor. I just think maybe I am trying to make it funnier. Maybe I'm trying to force it to be a good concept. All right, I'm out. I hate it now. Thank you.
Well, I have nothing. Literally the note I wrote. This ended and I just was like, what was that? You described it fairly well. And at the end of this, I had no notes other than there was a gunshot that made me literally say holy shit out loud.
Oh, that's right.
'Cause
Jane
Jane shoots, I think, Harry to back away. He was going to help. Harry was going to help Gilda clean something
Yes.
up or something like that. And she fired a rather loud cap gun. And it did make me jump and say, holy shit. That was my one note. I didn't understand this one at all. Didn't see what they were doing. Couldn't figure it out. Nothing.
They can't all be winners.
I didn't get why they were breaking in with guns to just mess the place up, and then why the moms came in and they had guns. I just didn't understand any of it.
That's just the moms cleaning up after their sons. Like, I think that's and making excuses for them.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you explain the next.
Speaking
the
of not
next bit.
understanding,
I was speaking of notes that I didn't write down. Next up is
there are a lot of bits tonight I have very little, if not zero, notes for.
same. We get our first musical performance of the night. 3D come on to sing their song All Night Television, which I was not familiar with.
Nope.
I was not familiar with 3D.
You know who else is not familiar with 3D? The internet.
No, it's
Not that familiar. You gotta
No.
dig. Yeah, this 20 seconds in, I just write, they all can't be winners.
20 seconds in, I was thinking, I was promised Paul and Linda McCartney. What is this?
Apparently they were a big deal.
I don't think that's true.
I think they were. So they had a hit. They were a big deal. They were just on tour.
This apparently was their hit. Did you know this
was their-
song?
No. I mean, but
Okay.
listen, look who we're talking to. But no, I did not. Let's not be that the benchmark if I knew their song.
Yes. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, never. That was a bad.
So no, I did not know the song. I did not enjoy the song. I guess it's new wave, you would call it, right? A new wave,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's bad new
so
wave.
I didn't like it. The audience seemed to enjoy it. It seemed to go over well. They seemed to get a good response when it was over, but I knew nothing. And so then when I went to look them up after the fact, and I learned a lot, and I learned they had just opened for Jay Giles' band on their Love Stinks tour, which apparently they were really big and they're a good live act. And you mentioned it before we were recording. They played with U2. I guess after they did the tour, they played a show in New York, and U2 opened for them.
Crazy. I don't know. I really had nothing during this performance. My note was, I can see why I never heard of them before. And then at the end, when the crowd was cheering, I wrote, crowd liked it, or were they happy it was over? Because I was.
I wonder, and I know this isn't that big of a thing back then. I'm just thinking about this now. Like, is that like the 1980s version of a one-hit wonder? Like, how many bands do we know of the 90s? Because they were like a one-hit wonder, but I'm sure now no one's ever heard of them. And I wonder if that was this band. Because they do sound, they're very new wave, which was popular at the time. And we've seen stuff like the B-52s this season and the Specials. Like, we've seen other hipper bands be better this season. I mean, I know they didn't have like a number one hit, but I'm just wondering if they're like the Right Said Fred of 1980.
No, I think like Soft Cell is I guess they were 1981. They were like the one-hit wonders.
But you know who they are. I feel like there's like bands from the 90s that are people our age know that no one now has any idea who the hell they are.
I guess.
It's different now, too, because of the whole nostalgia shit. Like, stuff comes back more than it did then. But anyway.
But not this. I think that's my point is
I don't
like
know.
you said earlier, you can't find stuff about this song or these
It's hard.
people on the internet.
The lead singer still exists and records music, and that's where I found a lot of stuff because he has like a whole bio page that talks about them and his time with 3D. But like, you can't find 3D, you can't find I guess their albums on Spotify. But yeah, it's bizarre. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, you're promoting Paul and Linda McCartney, and this is the first musical act you see.
Well, you got to draw it out. You're not going to. You want people to watch the show. You're not going to put Paul McCartney on at 11:45.
No, I know that. I guess it also like sets these guys up for failure. So we go to Weekend Update next. This Weekend Update was just Bill and Jane. 90% of it. Mm-hmm. I felt like they rattled through a bunch of jokes that were pretty good.
I think so. It was short and good, and the two of them, the audience really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the audience enjoyed it.
There were jokes about, Ford and Reagan, Picasso, the Pope.
How great is Jane's French accent?
How great is
It's
Jane?
so good. Yeah, how great is Jane?
I think we got our first Tip O'Neill joke.
Might have been. I don't know. It got buried in yet another John Anderson joke.
That's true. It did.
Keep laying.
But I was like, Tip O'Neill, we're going to hear about him for many years to come. And then we go back to London for Father Guido Sarducci. I liked his first line when Jane was like, "Where's Paul McCartney?" And he's like, "That guy sleeps like a log."
Is this the one or the first one? I can't remember. He's already smoking. Like, he's just smoking a cigarette standing there, and she calls to him. He's like, "Oh, hi." What's up?
I think it was this one.
Yeah, he's just like hanging out there smoking a cigarette. Father Sarducci turns around. Hello.
It's like 5 a.m, just smoking a cigarette on the street. Good for him. Yeah, he thinks it might be a bust, and so he tries to wake him up by singing a medley of Beatles songs through a bullhorn up at his window.
Do you like that?
I thought the way he went through the medley was good. Yes.
It's tough. I don't know. It felt long to me. It's a little long and just kind of one verse into the next from different song to different song. I didn't love the gag.
We don't want a revolution and all. We all wanted to change the world. But if you go talking about a destruction, don't you know that you can count me in the town where I was born? Live a man who sailed the sea, and he tells me, "Hey, Jude."
I liked it because it wasn't just like a verse into it. It was like he tied the lyrics from one song to another. So he made it like one long run-on thing rather than just a verse. And then when that's done, that was it. That was Weekend Update.
That was it. Yeah, it was short. Like I said, it's a pretty short piece.
It was very short. I was surprised that when it went back to Jane that she was like, and that's the news.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But it was. I thought it was a good Weekend Update for what it was. My next note after Weekend Update was, a crawl.
Oh, yeah.
Voiceover by Tom Davis.
Written by Tom Davis, Al Franken, and Jim Downey. You are correct, sir. Cue the crawl.
Oh, man. But not just a crawl with Tom Davis's voiceover. And I was like, this is done. We know what this is. So this is a docudrama called The Hominids. And it's a bunch of, like Neanderthal cave people sitting around eating meat. It's Bill and Gilda and Garrett.
Brian Doyle Murray's down there, and Franken.
Brian Doyle Murray was
That's
the
the
one
other
that
one.
I couldn't tell who that was.
You can kind of see it when they come back. You can hear it better. The first time they're there and they talk, you can't tell, but when he comes back, you can tell it's Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah, all right. So they're all sitting around eating this meat that they luckily got that day that they're talking about, except for Steve, who's eating a banana. And Steve is also the only one without the big, like, Neanderthal-like brow.
Yeah, he's also the only one who
face.
does not speak like a Neanderthal. He speaks like Steve Martin, like very eloquently and
Right. He's the smart one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's trying to convince them to hunt differently by, circling the bison instead of trying to run it down because the bison are faster than they are. And Bill is like the alpha one who says he's what? Father
He is
hunter?
swift and he is strong. I am
that's
swift. I am strong.
Yes. And then he finally agrees to Steve's plan, but it's time to go to sleep, so they have energy for the hunt, and then he kills Steve in his sleep. So now he is swift and strong and smart.
And smart. Yeah, they all go to bed, and Steve lays down behind a rock, his torso and above behind a rock, and Bill pummels him to death with a rock behind the rock, a boulder behind the rock, a rock behind the boulder. Anyway, yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't the worst thing we've ever seen, but there's not much to it. No. It was funny to put Steve in the Steve Martin-y, showboaty kind of character, like highfalutin, smarty pants guy with the Neanderthals. And he's like, I know you're the smartest. No one's saying you're not, or I know you're strong. No one's saying you're not strong or you're not swift. But do you think maybe because every time we chase the bison runs away, the bison might be more swift than you? I'm not arguing with you here. And then he explains the bison circle. I actually liked Garrett in this, where Garrett jumps up and understands it.
Yes.
And he's like, so if the bison runs away from me, he will run to you. And Steve's like, yes. And so everyone else gets it. And then I thought, yep. Go ahead, because I'm probably on the same page.
When Steve was going through everything, and he was like, and then we should do this and this and this.
At the end,
I thought
change our lifestyle kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
The big picture of we can start a community and a society and write things down and everything.
Perhaps we could even stop wandering and build permanent dwellings and domesticate animals. Why, we could then have leisure time to develop a system of symbols and to record events and communicate ideas, creating a civilization beyond our wildest imagination.
I was certain it was going to go, nah.
I had the same note, the old Franken and Downey bit. I was expecting it and never came. Yep.
No. I was happy it didn't come. I liked the way it ended better because it was different.
It would have tied it in too much to Theodoric of York. Like it would have
exactly.
You would have tied it too close. I agree, but they threaded that needle pretty well.
Yeah.
There was an interesting line when Gilda goes back into the cave or hut or whatever the hell it is, and a few minutes later, Lorraine comes out, and she's kind of like a prostitute or whatever, wants to have sex with Steve, but she walks up, and I think it's her first line to Steve is, "You make me wet."
Yes.
And I was just shocked at that guy. I don't know why. I'm like, wow, what a line that made it on air.
Yes, it was surprising. And Steve was like, thank you? I think that's what he said, right?
I'd like to get some of that. And she turns around. He then goes behind her, and that's when Bill comes in. That's mine. She's mine. You find something else. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a fine sketch.
It was okay.
After that, we go back to Father Guido Sarducci. This is the last time we're going to go back to our special report. And this time he throws a rock at Paul's window.
I know what'll do it.
And sure enough, the lights come on and Paul McCartney comes out in a robe.
Mm-hmm. And Father Guido Sarducci right away. It was the mailman. There was a mailman and he threw the rock. So funny.
That was funny. And he explains the time change because Paul McCartney was like, you were supposed to be here at 11:30 last night. You weren't. So Paul agrees to answer any questions about the tape, but he won't answer questions about marijuana.
Okay, that's fine, just as long as there are questions about the tape. Just the tape, okay?
Have to be questions about the tape?
Yeah, right.
Well, how long did it take to make the tape?
Well, it took quite a lot of time, actually, because I played a lot of different roles on the tape. It's only about 4 minutes long itself, but it took over a week to shoot it, you know?
Hey, you know, if you was still smoking, do you think it would have taken longer or shorter?
Of course, it might have taken longer, you know, it might have seemed shorter and that, but, well, I don't see that matters.
But it would have taken longer, but it seems shorter. That's your answer. That's what he's saying.
Well, I suppose.
And then Linda comes out, also in a robe.
This was a funnier line when she comes out and she asks him, wasn't this supposed to happen last night? And Father Guido says, Paul got the time mixed up.
Yeah.
He time changes and he blames Paul like without missing a beat. That was one of the funniest lines of the whole thing. It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're kind of glossing over the fact a little bit of what a big deal this had to have been. It's 1980, remember, right? To actually pose these questions to him, even if it's part of a joke, Paul McCartney's on live TV and you're posing questions to him about smoking marijuana and getting high. Like, I feel like nowadays it's, whatever, it's commonplace, but I feel like that was a very big deal to have him on. First of all, it's a very big deal to have him on the show regardless, right? Doing a live anything. And then you're asking him the questions, even in a joking manner, that you're going to pose those questions to him, I think is a really big deal.
At 5 a.m.
At 5 a.m.
Yeah, I think it is a big deal. And I think it just shows, I think part of it is he clearly got past all of that with Japan and it turned out to be fine. Right. Mm-hmm. I think part of it is probably like he has a very British sense of humor. And I think that sort of shit is more acceptable in Britain at that time than it is probably here.
Okay.
I'm guessing. We should ask Thomas Senna.
I was just appreciative of the fact that they went for it, that they were able to go for it, and it wasn't like sugar coated or tiptoed or didn't even mention it. That they actually did bring it up, and he went at him. And then again, it was funny. Then he says the question about actually asking about the tape, and then I did like at the end where he asked for one last question. He says, "Okay, sure." And again, as you mentioned earlier, it's the callback to the Richard Nixon bit he did. Right. What kind of animal would you be? If you could be any animal in the world, what would it be?
And he says koala bear. And then again, Father Guido says, oh, because you're just sitting around eating the leaves getting stoned.
There's eucalyptus leaves. They just get high all day. Yeah, of course.
Oh, that was good. Then from there, they throw to the tape. As
the
Paul
video,
McCartney
because he's
kept
like, play the
calling it.
tape. Half the time, Paul McCartney's like, play the tape. You're going to play the tape, right? Play the tape.
Yes. And they play the tape. It's a music video for his new release coming up off of McCartney 2, which was just released, you said, just released in the States this week.
Day before, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Or 1 or 2 days, yeah.
Yeah, and this is the U.S. premiere of this video that had already premiered the month prior in the U.K., and I believe the album was released the month prior in the UK as well. I enjoyed this song. So McCartney 2 is one of those albums that Paul McCartney plays every instrument on the album. Mm-hmm. McCartney 2, and then McCartney 3, who just came out a few years ago. So in this music video, it is just Paul and Linda playing every part of the music video. So it's like they have a big
It's at least 12 people. She plays 2 backup singers, and then he plays like 10 various. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all based on other musical acts.
One was based on the Beatles, but
yes, one was him
as the bass player, as 1964 Beatles Paul.
Yeah. Well, he even mentions with Father Guido, he's talking about it, and he mentions that he is dressed up as the keyboard player from Sparks, which was great. And then seeing that, I was like, oh shit, he looks just like that guy.
Who the hell is Sparks?
You don't know Sparks?
I don't.
The band? They're a band. It's
I
this
assume
two-piece,
that, but no.
It's 2 guys. I believe they're brothers. They are brothers. They've been around forever. They're like the musician's favorite band.
Oh.
There was a good documentary on them on Apple a couple of years ago. It's worth checking out. Listen to their music. Their music's good. I think you might like it. Yeah, this was fun. I thought it was a fun music video, especially
Really?
for 1980. Yeah,
Really?
I thought it was fun that he was dressing up as all these characters. You didn't think so?
With all due respect, all I could muster was, what in the hell was that?
It was a pre-MTV music video.
I guess. Is this a good song? I think this is a shitty song.
I don't think it's a great song, no. I don't know if it's shitty, but definitely not one of his best songs.
Yeah, I didn't like the song. And then I get the gag, and I like what he did of, I played all the instruments on the track, so I'm going to play all the parts in the video. I applaud him for that. But I think the song was just, to me, so bad I couldn't get into the video.
All right.
You know who liked this song, though, apparently?
No.
John Lennon, after hearing this song, was, what's the word, inspired, I guess, to come back to writing music again. He hadn't had an album out in 5 years.
Right.
And apparently Paul McCartney putting out Coming Up is what like kind of prompted him to get back into recording. And then he made what would be his last album, Double Fantasy.
Yeah. I have that album.
But I was just surprised to hear the first time when I heard that this prompted him to do that, my initial gut reaction was, oh, because Lennon didn't want anyone to think this was like the last Beatles anything that came out ever, and he had to do something to like replace it. I'm sorry, this is a bad song.
I mean, I have
understand
lost
the
all
man
faith
is an
in your
amazing
musical
songwriter.
taste because
Listen.
you are obsessed with Marianne Faithfull. So
Fun fact, I still do not have that album. So again, please someone
Yeah.
send it to me.
no, that invalidates all of your musical commentary.
But if anybody needs a Leo Sayer album, I found one today, so I know where one is.
No one needs that.
No one.
Well, sorry you didn't like this song.
Yeah,
You're not a big
oh
Paul
well.
McCartney fan, though.
I like
right?
I like Paul McCartney, but I don't worship at the altar of the Beatles. But I don't think anyone can deny that he is an amazing songwriter and has written some of the greatest songs of all time, and is in one of the biggest bands of all time. Like I'm not gonna not admit
Sure.
that.
Right.
More of
Your
a
buddy
Wings fan.
Paul
What can I say? Sorry.
You know he wrote all of those songs too, right? Well, we're back to political humor.
Yes, we
After
are.
this.
Sort of.
We're at dinner with Ronald Reagan, played by Harry Shearer,
Again.
and Nancy Reagan, played by Jane.
About time.
I don't think we've seen that, right? This is the first
No.
time we've seen her. Yeah.
We've only seen him do them once before.
And Steve Martin plays, I don't know, someone in their campaign. Don't really say who it is.
Some dude. Yep.
Bill plays a guy who runs a newspaper.
Another dude.
And Lorraine plays a woman who's a TV anchor.
Yes.
And they're talking to Reagan about endorsing him for the campaign. And we find out that Reagan is just repeating the same joke over and over about first it's putting Carter on welfare, and then I forget who else he goes to.
The waiter at one point.
Yeah. This is just a joke about how Reagan doesn't remember things. He keeps repeating things, saying that he's going to the wrong place, and Steve corrects him a few times.
Yeah, this is another one. I have no notes because I really did not enjoy this. Yeah, it's Reagan is old, so he's forgetful. That's the joke.
Yeah.
They don't really scratch any deeper. So,
No.
and the characters kind of felt thin, like just something was missing to them all. Like
Yeah.
nobody was like invested, or there was just something off, or like just thin about this, little bit weak. But I will say, after I watched and I thought about it for a couple minutes, I do feel like this probably would have played better at the time, because the idea or the image of making jokes about Ronald Reagan, I think, is very new at this point.
Yeah.
So you'd be excited to see it. This is something that, watching this 40 some odd years later, and after all the Reagan stuff, even on Saturday Night Live in the 80s you've seen,
Right.
takes away from it. But if you're watching it in the moment in 1980, I feel like it played better because it's new.
I did enjoy Harry's impression, though. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, it was good. But yes, his performance is good, but I think the writing for what he had to do wasn't that
Yeah.
good. Like
No,
the
I
last
agree
time
with
we
you.
saw him, I liked him a lot better. I enjoyed him a lot better the first time we saw him do Reagan. I did not
Yeah.
like it as much, even his performance as Reagan, as much as this one.
I get that. I think it was just that has more to do with the writing for this one, though,
Yeah.
because I think he's
Yeah.
he's got it down.
Yes.
That's the thing.
yeah.
Did you enjoy Gilda's performance as Patty Caldwell?
I did, only because I yearned to be in my late 30s, so I would have loved to have loved this sketch.
Gilda plays 38-year-old Patty Caldwell, and this is a commercial for her album Stretch Marks, which this is the voiceover by Harry, and it's just his voiceover over stills of Gilda or Gilda poorly lip syncing to pre-recorded Gilda singing.
Yeah, let's come back to the lip syncing, but keep going. Thank you. But Stretch Marks, at last, an album for career women in their late 30s.
That's right.
And the album cover is amazing. It is an amazing
funny.
album cover for Stretch Marks. It's very early 80s.
It's very early 80s. Yeah.
It's really good.
You liked this one. This one brought you back.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I thought Harry Shearer's dialogue, description was very funny.
Yeah.
The track titles are great. I used to be quite interesting, really. FULLFILLMENT. I feel sorry for people in love. My songs are my children. You'll be sorry someday. Droopin' was another one. Like
Droopin'.
It was funny. So those were funny. And Gilda does a really good job. This is what bothered me, though, about the sketch is that Gilda does a good job singing. Like, she is singing. It's her
Right.
voice. So why is she lip syncing? I missed this part of the joke of why she was lip syncing to her own voice.
Well, because I thought it was just poking fun at the way that these commercials would do this, where it's clearly the person is not singing live. They just give the illusion that they're singing live.
Okay. All right. I missed it. Like, I was wondering, and since I didn't know the commercials well enough, again, of the time,
Right. Yeah.
the lip syncing, because she is obviously off from time to time. And so that's what stuck with me and bothered me about this, because the songs are funny, the pictures are funny, the titles are funny. It's really I think a well-written, funny piece. It reminded me of stuff we've seen Lorraine do before.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just didn't understand the lip syncing part of it. It threw me off.
Yeah. I kind of wished she would have played that up even a little bit more, because it's not very apparent in every song.
Maybe that's it. Maybe she doesn't do it enough. Like,
Yeah.
it was just enough where you were questioning whether she was lip syncing.
It was like that FULFILLMENT. That's where you really saw her, like when she's trying to go through those letters and she's like
right.
is clearly thinking about it. But you needed more of it, I think, to make it a
Maybe
funnier
that
joke.
would have been it. Maybe if she was really off, which I
Yeah.
guess dumbs it down a little bit more, maybe. But maybe that would have, if you leaned into it a little more.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's still funny. And I love the end when they try to do the sign off to buy it, and Harry Shearer has the line, "Hurry, she's getting older."
Yeah, Harry was really funny in this.
It was a good piece.
I liked his dialogue. Yeah, it was
It's a
good.
good little piece. This is another Franken and Davis piece with Gamble and Prost wrote this. The four of them.
Oh, really?
Funny funny piece. And I'm going to guess Schaefer did the music, but I'm not sure. We got another fun piece to close things out.
Yeah, you liked this one?
I did like this one. Like, this is one of the ones for me, it's silly and fun. So I like that part of it. This is Deer Crossing, written by Jim Downey and Sarah Paley. And for the first 30 seconds, I actually thought there might be no dialogue in this at one point, because
That's what I thought, yeah.
because Gilda and Steve come across out of the woods, and they come to a guardrail, a break in the guardrail, and there's a deer crossing sign posted against the curb there, and they're dressed as deer, and the whole joke is them trying to run across the street, and they go, 2 or 3 times where they scurry across, and you hear a car coming, and they run backwards, and they do it a few times, and it's a silly, fun piece.
Yeah. Garrett comes on as a cow. And he's like, hey, do you guys know where the cow crossing is? And they're like, yeah, that's like a mile down the road. And he's like, all right. They're like, you can cross here. And he's like, huh, no.
Yeah. And then Bill Murray comes up as like some kind of a dick swinging badass kind of guy. And he comes up, I'm going to go for it. And he's like, I don't know why they picked this spot. It's a pretty ridiculous spot for a deer crossing, which I think is so stupid and so great of a line. Like, it's such a funny line for the sketch.
Yeah, that was a funny line.
And then he just runs across and gets crushed.
Yeah, gets hit.
You hear it in the voiceover. And then,
yeah, Jane's like, oh my God.
Why didn't you just stop? Oh, because Bill's like, they don't want Bill to go. He's like, what? They can stop. And then you hear the crash. She's like, why didn't you stop? But funnier than that was then Tom Davis comes out and he runs across and gets hit. And then he runs back into frame he's like holding his butt running back in, which I thought was the funniest visual gimmick, was seeing him come back in.
All right. You made me appreciate this more than I
think this is one of the better pieces of the night.
Yeah.
I'm
The
not
part
saying
with
it's
Bill especially was good.
Yeah, I'm not
And
saying
Garrett
it's
was
great,
good in
but
this
in
too.
comparison, because again, this is a very middle of the road episode.
Yeah.
This is fun. It's different, and it's them pulling off silly really well, which I liked.
Yeah. All right. You convinced me. Fine.
I don't know how they picked this spot.
That's a funny line.
Like that line encapsulates the entire sketch of like the point
Yeah.
of it and what they're doing and how it comes across. It's like, oh yeah, like if you sit and think about it, it's really funny, smart.
And that's it. That's our show.
Yeah.
We have good nights. We come out for good nights, and it's Steve still in his deer costume. Is like, we have a whole minute to kill. And
It's
then,
a rare instance of the show needing to kill time. Like this happened a lot back like season 1, season 2, but it's
Right.
been a while since they come into end credits and the host is like, I gotta pull for a minute. Like, what do? I gotta
Right.
stretch.
and he pulls Bill over, who's also still in his deer costume, and is like, "Oh, this reminds me. Next week's host is Buck."
I like they said Buck was gonna host. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the band starts up before they even roll the credits because they've got like nothing left to say.
Yeah. I think that was better, honestly, than the awkwardness of them just kind of like standing on stage trying to figure out what to say for a minute.
I almost thought when he pulled Bill up, they were going to do "What the hell is that" again?
Oh, that would
Because that was like the time killer the last time he hosted. I kind of thought they were going to throw that line out once or twice.
Yeah.
But then
That
they
would've been
panned over
good.
to the band again, which they did a couple weeks ago with Strother Martin. We got to see the house band
Yep.
playing. And then we should say that the coolest part about this, at the end of the closing credits, is they cut back to London. And now it's sunrise and the sun's up.
That's right.
And they show them like tearing down the cameras and their setup in London, which was kind of cool. So that was fun to see.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, I think you're right. It was kind of a middling show. Nothing too great. Nothing horrible either.
Could you imagine if in an alternate universe, SNL does end after episode 20 and never comes back again, and the last image we have of Steve Martin on SNL is in that deer outfit?
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Sadly. But yeah, I agree. Underwhelming overall. I think it's the end, or at least now, looking back, it's like it's the end, and it's Steve, and you just want more, and it's really not there. Like it's especially the last 2 episodes. It's a step down, I think, from the last 2 episodes in general.
Yeah.
I think maybe you come in with a little bit of false hope because they were on a roll, 2 really good episodes, and now you get Steve coming in, it's the end, and you're like, everything should come in together, and it's almost like the attention, it's all about Paul McCartney. And that's what this episode is about and known for, and I don't want to say they put their efforts in that because it really wasn't. It was you sent Don Novello to London, and he probably wrote all that stuff by himself. So I don't know what the reasoning would be, but oh well. But yeah, not by no means
Not
horrible. No means horrible.
We've definitely seen worse this year.
Yeah, we have.
When you said in an alternate universe, I thought you were going to say, in an alternate universe, we could have had bits with 3D and thrown to their music video and had a live Paul McCartney performance. That would have been nice. Well, Brad, what are your best bits?
Oh man, I want to say Deer Crossing. It's weird. When I finished the episode, I was struggling to figure it out, and I wrote Deer Crossing or stretch marks, possibly. But then I did the research, and I found out all the stuff about Real Incredible People and the shows they were based on, and I want to put that in there now, because I think knowing that it is about two shows of the time and they parody them very well, I think Real Incredible People is a really good sketch. So I'm kind of torn between those three. I'm going to say Deer Crossing. I'll leave it at that and see what you say.
This was a tough one.
I
for
know.
Me. It's a high floor, low ceiling situation where it's like everything's right in that zone for the most part. I'm probably going to say Deer Crossing too. So you say Real Incredible People and I'll say Deer Crossing.
Okay, there we go. Sure.
Yeah, that works. Well, that's it for Steve Martin on the first 5 years of SNL.
He's gone. Yep, we'll see him, once in the next 5 years before he comes back and hosts back when Lauren comes back? He does have one of my favorite cameos of all time, though, in the Dick Ebersol era, in the Eddie Murphy episode. It is pretty amazing.
Next week, Brad. This is
it. We've hit the end of the road.
We made it. Season 5, episode 20, with host Buck Henry and musical guests Andrew Gold, Andrea Crouch, and Voices of Unity. Until then, good night and have a pleasant tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the Not Ready for Primetime Project. Please remember to rate and review and follow us on social media everywhere at NR4PT Project. The Not Ready for Primetime Project team is Brad Robinson and Gary Seith. Our editor is Will Bond, who hosts his own podcast with his brothers, Reviewing Doctor Who, which you can find wherever you're listening to this. Thanks for listening. Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Brad, why do you do this? Do you do this to hurt us?
Man. While I was waiting for you to jump on, I started listening to 3D. Oh. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of good musical comments on this episode. Like 3D, Play with Jay Guy. I think I have it. I have enough to make it sound interesting.
And the Ramones. And you too.
Okay, good. We'll be fine. That'll be enough. We said enough. More than enough time.
We've said too much.
We've said too much already. I'm pretty sure I have like 2 notes for that fucking band. And I have even less for Paul McCartney.
You know who Paul McCartney is, right?
He's a British dude who smokes pot, apparently. I pieced it together like I normally do. If it doesn't involve Cool Hand Luke, I'm somehow able to connect the dots, yes.
What I found interesting was Linda McCartney having a slight British accent. I was like, you're not British. What are you doing?
Oh, it's Madonna syndrome. Let's go. This is all good. See, this is better than anything we're going to make up on the spot. Just hit record.
I did hit record. We're recording.
Just do your